What's good, everybody? If y'all watch the podcast, y'all know me. I'm Nick. If you don't watch the podcast, you definitely need to start tuning in. But I want to welcome everybody to my new segment. It's all about me, and we're really just going to dive in to my journey on trying to play professional football. If you watch the pod, you know that football is just a big part of all of us. Me and Vance played together in Millsaps. I knew Josh in high school from playing football. Like, football is big to all of us. You know, it shaped all of us and made all of us who we are. And it's kind of the reason why we started the podcast. And all three of us are doing great things. Josh is doing his thing up in Syracuse, getting his grad school in. Vance, the SID at a college, bro. That's big time. But I wanted to start this new segment with y'all because, like I said, I'm the only one who's still playing. And I really just wanted to give y'all an inside look at what that whole process looks like. You know, from working out every day to talking with an agent to trying to get on a team. I just really want to show y'all what that looks like because I feel like, nobody sees that. You know, everybody watches the draft, everybody watches college football on Saturdays. But once the season ends, nobody really sees what it takes to get to that next step, especially for guys coming from a smaller school who don't get all the same opportunities that those D1, big name guys get. I want to kick it off, of course, by letting y'all know this was coming, but also telling y'all a little bit more about me and kind of just why this journey is special to me and why I want to keep playing football. So if you know me, you will know that my family is kind of became a sports family with me and my brother. Like my dad played, he was a legend at Carver High School. My mom hooped in high school, but neither one of them really, played college sports. My cousin Cedric Benson went on to play in the NFL. You probably know him from going to a Super Bowl with the Bears, all the years with the Bengals. But one of my earliest football memories was us as a family taking the drive from Memphis to Nashville to watch him play when he was with the Bengals against the Titans. And so even though my family wasn't a sports family, wasn't a super like just football family, we all like rallied around him, supported him, and like just showing the love like my whole family gave him was just something special. But like I said, my family wasn't a big sports family. We didn't really become like heavily into it like on a regular basis until like me and my brother and like all the younger kids of the family started coming about. But for me, like football was never my first sport. Like my dad, you can ask him to this day, he never would have thought I played football. I don't know if he thought like I don't know what he thought, but he just never thought I'd be a football player. And honestly, I don't blame him because like I started out playing like everything but football. Like played soccer, tennis. Like tennis was one of the first sports I played. Like my dad and my mom like used to play all the time, so they got me in on it. But really, I picked up a basketball first. If you know me, you know I'm a bucket. But anyway, like I was saying, like I played every other sport, like basketball, tennis, soccer, baseball, swimming, gymnastics. Like I did everything but football. And then fast forward, like I get to seventh grade, and like middle school itself was like a shock to me, like socially, culturally, whatever. Because elementary school, I didn't go to the elementary school like all the other kids at the middle school went to. So like I'm a new kid in a new environment, and I only know like a few select people. And so I see all these guys, all my friends that I had coming into middle school, they all played football. And so I'm like, man, I see these guys, they cool with everybody on the team. Like it's just a natural link up. And so like I was like, you know what? Let me try it. So like the end of my sixth grade year, like shout out Coach Thornton, like one of my favorite coaches all time at White Station Middle School. Like he used to do this thing in the spring for guys, kind of like not like a tryout, but like come out and see if you like football, see if you want to be on the middle school team. And I went there, I enjoyed it, I had fun. And so that summer I was like on the team, like starting my seventh grade year. And of course, seventh grade was my first time ever playing football, especially on a team. Like, you play like in the neighborhood and things like that. But seventh grade was my first time like putting a helmet and shoulder pads and like really doing it for real. And I'm not gonna lie, I was ass. I can admit it, I was ass. So seventh grade, I really didn't play, but like White Station, we was just so good. Like we blew everybody out. So like, I get thrown in the games. Playing our B games was like JV for middle school. And then, seventh grade, I keep learning the game, keep trying to get better. And then, like, kind of looking forward towards eighth grade because, like, I know what I'm doing now and I know I can, kind of play a little bit. And so then eighth grade come and, like, literally, like, a week before the season started, I fractured a bone in my shoulder. I missed like the majority of the season. I come back for like the last 4 games in the playoffs. It was like at that point, like, you know what I'm saying, the season's over, you're not gonna play, whatever, whatever. So my first year actually playing football, like in games, like consistently, was ninth grade. Like that was my first year of real football, like playing freshman football. And I'm not gonna lie, like I fell in love with it at that point because it's like I was out there having fun, I was with all my friends, and I wasn't bad at it. So then from there, like high school, I just kept going. I kept playing. Like there's no point in looking back. And I tried to keep getting better. But high school, as y'all may know, like I was never that guy. Like I never started in high school. I played like, like I played a decent amount, but I was never that guy. Like I wasn't getting hella targets. Or you already heard me say I wasn't getting hella snaps. But like whenever I did play, like I tried to make something happen. And so fast forward to my senior year, like my head coach at White Station, he brought every upcoming senior, maybe it was like the end of our junior year or something like that. He brought us all in and he was like, what do you want to do with football? Like, do you want to play in college? If you want to play in college, like, what are you thinking? All of that kind of stuff. And so when he brought me in, he was like, you're a good athlete. I was, what I'm saying, fast, pretty strong for my size, all that kind of stuff. But obviously, I didn't play a whole lot. So he was like, you could be a D2 guy, but you're too smart for that. Like, a lot of D2s aren't like high academic schools. And then he said the same thing for NAI. He was like, you can go play NAI ball, but that academics some shit. So he was like, I just think D3 would be the best path for you. And so shout out to him for like kind of putting a roadmap in front of me in terms of like, this is what you should target. Like if something better comes your way, for sure take it. But like this is kind of school that you should target and like where you can go and make an impact at. And so I salute him for doing that, and I salute him for like bringing me into like all the schools like that fit that category. So like whenever a D3 coach came, whenever like a similar school came that he thought would be a good fit, I'm in the office like meeting coaches. Like it might not be Nick Saban, but it's still like I'm a high school kid getting talked to by college coaches for an opportunity to play college football. And so, long story short, like, the whole recruitment process go by. So I narrowed it down to 3 schools: Washington, Lee, and Lexington, Virginia; Lawrence and Appleton, Wisconsin; and of course, Millsaps, where I eventually ended up going. And so I ended up going to Millsaps. I choose it because it's like, it's perfect distance from the crib, like 3 hours. And then it was also like, I had went to see them play at Rose, and I was like, I could see myself like actually getting a chance to play here and be something special here. So I went to Millsaps for 5 years. My freshman year, I didn't play. I started my last 4 years at Millsaps, but those 4 years weren't necessarily a straight line. Like my sophomore year, like it was super up and down. I started out the year playing a lot, and then towards the back end of the year, I wasn't playing at all. So it was just a really up and down season for me. And then after that season, COVID hit, so I didn't have a regular junior season. We only played 4 games in the fall, and I kind of started playing a lot again, like getting back to starting for real and all of that kind of stuff. And I was really started to progress in my game. Like if you told seventh grade me that I would be playing college football at that level, like starting, and you just like showed him my film from like college, he probably wouldn't believe it. But like I said, it was only 4 games, so it was only a taste. My senior year, I'm a full time starter. I'm, going inside, outside, like I'm in the game, all game, on special teams, doing everything. In my senior season, I started to put together a really good season. Like in our first 6 games, I had 2 tugs. I was getting a lot of catches, things like that. But unfortunately, in our 6th game, I broke my collarbone and I was out for the season. And so, because of COVID, and since my senior season got cut short, I decided to use my 5th year, of course, staying at Millsaps. Team wise and personally, it wasn't the year I wanted to end my college football experience with. We started out 3-2, everything looked good. And we ended the year 3-7, lost our last 5 games. And then on a personal level, I just didn't feel like I achieved everything I came into the year looking to achieve. And I kind of feel that way about my whole college career. Like, I didn't have a season in college where I had over 300 receiving yards. And personally, I set bigger goals for myself than that. I remember sitting with my coach and him telling me and me telling him that, this is going to be an 800-yard season for me and things like that. But it was just a lot of different factors that played into that. Like, just thinking back on it, like, over my last 2 years of college football, I played with 5 different starting quarterbacks. Our offense wasn't always clicking, and then with young quarterbacks, it's just hard for you to get the touches you want. So personally, when it comes to football, I just feel like I haven't hit my prime yet, and I feel like my best is yet to come. I got so much more I can get a game. I got so much more I can do. Like I still feel good physically. Like I feel like I can keep going. And I'm gonna be honest, like I didn't even think about playing pro football at all. Like coming into college, like I just saw, I was gonna play my 4 years, be done with it, get a good job, get a good salary, do all of that, be done with football. But like all of that started to change around like the end of this past season. So, like, obviously, we didn't have the season we wanted to. We went 3-7, and like leading up to that last game, I'm like getting ready mentally in my mind, like, this is gonna be my last time ever putting on a helmet, putting on shoulder pads, playing football. And then my coach come up to me, Coach Carter, and he like, "Hey man, I just got off the phone with these guys who are on an All-Star game up in Minnesota, and I gave them your name as a guy who would probably be interested in playing. So do you want to play?" And I'm like, "Hell yeah! Like one more time to play football. Like who am I to say no?" So, playing the game, we played in the Viking Stadium in Minnesota, like one of the best football experiences I've had to date. Like getting to play in the NFL stadium, like, come on, bro, like that shit is crazy. And so, playing the Viking Stadium, I killed the game. I had like 3, 4 catches, a tud. They gave me like offensive MVP. Me and my boy Kaipo shared that. So, so yeah, like after the game, it was 2 teams. The other team's defensive coordinator comes up to me, and he's like, "Hey, man, I'm finna take a job with the IFL. IFL is the indoor football league, and it's like the best indoor league in the United States. And it's like they just like with the XFL coming back and things, they signed a contract with them to where like they can be a feeder league for the XFL. So the coach comes up to me, we start chopping it up. He like, "Hey, man, like you really killed our ass today," and I was like, "Yeah, I appreciate it." You know what I'm saying? So we keep talking, and he like, "Hey, I'm gonna take this job with the IFL, or I'm in the works of taking this job with the IFL. And if I, what I'm saying, take the job, you the first guy I'm bringing with me." And I'm like, "Oh shit!" Like I had never thought about playing pro ball, and here a pro ball coach is talking to me, telling me, "Hey, you're really good at what you do, and you're so good that I want to bring you on with me when I go to this team." And so that really opened my eyes because it's like I'm not gonna say like I ever doubted myself or doubted my ability, but that opened my eyes to say, "Hey, like your time in football doesn't have to be done in college. Like you can really keep going with this, and there are people that believe that you can keep going with this." So him telling me that really lit the fire up under me because I'm not gonna lie, like I'm not gonna say I was ready to call it quits after that game in Minnesota because like it had already like kind of started to bubble, like maybe I should keep playing. But when he told me that, it was like no doubt in my mind, like there's no reason not for me to chase this right now. So we played the game in December, and I graduated school in December. So kind of just to bring y'all up to date on where we are now, like I'm not gonna lie, like those first couple of months they were rough. Like January through like March, because like it's just me, my mom, and my dad, and we like that was my team. Like we trying to figure all this out. Like what do I need to do to make it happen? Like who do I need to talk to? Like can I get an agent? Like or how to find an agent? And it's like new to all of us because we've never done anything like this before, nor do we know anybody that's really done this before. So like we were working, we're trying to like call everybody we know who knows somebody, trying to connect all the dots. And like we was just kind of, I don't want to say running in circles, but we kind of was because like we wasn't making a whole lot of process. And like my coaches from Millsaps were helping too, but they got a whole team on their hands that they got to worry about as well. So like I couldn't expect a whole lot out of them. And then on top of us just trying to do everything on our own, like my own personal situation was like just different because this was the first time like I've ever not been in school and like been living in Jackson, if you get what I'm saying. So like I'm away from home, like the trainers I'm used to working out with, like my whole like off-season infrastructure in terms of like who I lived with, who I hit the field with, like who I just work out with in general, like that's gone because like I can't work out with the team because I'm graduated college. and I'm just kind of like by myself. So like I gotta lift by myself. I gotta like get the guys who are still in school. Like shout out my guy Benny. Like he was a quarterback on the team, but like he out throwing with me like whenever I asked pretty much. Like I'd be like, hey, you trying to get on the field today? He'd be like, hell yeah, let's get it. And so like big shout out to him for doing that with me. But like through this whole thing, it's like I'm supposed to be optimizing myself, and that's really hard to do because like you can't see yourself work out, you can't see yourself move. So it's like when it comes time to like evaluate and tweak things and to push you to that next level, like it's hard to do like by yourself. So I say all that to say, like when those first couple like pro days, combines came up, like physically I wasn't prepared to go out and do my best because it's like I'm working on it by myself, but am I really doing everything that's necessary to be optimized, be peak level? No, I wasn't. Like I ran like a 4.7 at Jackson State pro day, and it's like I ain't never did that shit in my life. So it's like I just had to really like those first couple months. It was just hard for me, bro, because it's like I felt like I was doing it by myself. Like I didn't have no help, and like that was just a real deal struggle, bro. Like every day. But I will say things started to change around like April, May, and that started with me signing with an agent. Like shout out my guy Alec at Pro Level, and like just signing with him, like it made the whole process like easier. Like instead of me, my mom, and my dad having to do everything, like he's sending my film out to teams. He telling me what combines, what workouts I need to go to. He really pushing for me, really advocating for me, and then he's also somebody in my ear telling me like, "Hey, you hella talented, bro. Like you need to be on your shit so we can make this happen." And so signing with him definitely made everything easier, not only for me, but also my parents and everybody supporting me. And then on top of that, like I started making connections here in Jackson to like, you know what I'm saying, work out, get better, those kinds of things. Cause like I said, things started to turn around in April, May. So like school was getting out and then the strength and conditioning coach at the school, like he was sending me workouts to do and stuff. But now that like his schedule is free because school is out, he's like, hey, just come work out in the morning every morning. And like I salute him big time for that because like he doesn't have to do that. Like waking up at 6 every morning to work out a guy that's not even gonna be on the team next year. So big shout out to Coach Creamer for working with me like, every morning since school got out. And it's like he's been dedicated to it, I've been dedicated to it, and it's like I'm already seeing vast improvements. And then also I got plugged in with my guy Shay Hodge down here doing receiver work. So big shout out to him. And then on top of that, the people at my job plugged me in with Coach Dylan at Hines Community College. He's that track coach. And if you don't know about Hines, like they one of the best JUCO track programs, like back to back national titles, like type competitive. So I started working out with him, and we've been going 2 days a week, and that's been work. So big shout out, big thank you to him as well. And so like I said, like April, May, like things start to turn around, and now where we are now, like today's July 6th, and things are really looking up for me. I will say that. Like I talked to my agent, he said, hey, you need to go to one of the XFL combines. So I'm flying out to Phoenix to do the XFL combine in Arizona on the 16th. I'm really excited for that. Like I said, I've been putting in hella work, so I'm gonna make sure it all show that day. And then on top of that, like just talking to Alec, he's been trying to plug me with any team he can. Send my film to IFL teams, different teams in the States, different overseas teams. So he's really been working, and it seems like pretty soon something's gonna happen. And so with things looking up, I really just wanted to share this journey with you guys because it's something I feel like in the end I'm gonna be really proud of, and something I'm gonna want to look back on and be like, damn, like this is all that it took just to get here. And of course, once you get there, you gotta double it to make sure you stay there and elevate to where I want to go. So really, like I just think this journey is gonna be special, and I'm really excited to share it with you guys. Like I'm gonna try to drop content as much as I can, whether it be workouts, whether it just be me sitting here talking about like just updates. Like I really want y'all to see everything it takes, just mentally, physically, just everything that it takes to turn a dream to reality. And so with that, make sure y'all stay tuned. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, do all that. And with that, we out of here.